Be careful with online dating apps, talking to people in your DM. There's people who have plenty of success stories, but there's also a lot of demons online. Please be careful. One of the most abusive relationships I had was with a guy that I met online many, many years ago. I'm not sure if my universe is glitching, but I have been having a lot of people from my past just popping up. But I never thought that I would see this particular guy. I have not spoken to this one guy since I was probably about 26 or 27. I'm 41 now, okay? And I grew up with this guy. So there's this guy that I grew up with. And the last time I saw him, we were about 17, 18 years old the last time I saw him. And, um, you know, we were raised together. So we were like almost like family, pretty much. But when we were kids, he ended up moving down south, and I remained in New York with my family. But every summer, I would go down south and I would see him. And through the years, he would say, "Oh, he liked me, and you're my little girlfriend," that type of thing. So we always had this puppy love thing that went back and forth, and it was trying to lead into adulthood, but we ended up never really connecting on a romantic level as adults, pretty much. One summer when we had turned 18, my birthday's August 15th, and so is his. Leo. Be very, very careful, right? He said he was in New York, and he grew up to be a very interesting character. He ended up to be a criminal, and he was a street pharmacist, and he was Team Blue, if you know what I mean. So that summer that we had turned 18, he happened to come to New York, and he told me on this particular day he was coming to spend time with me and my mother. And I waited for him, and he never showed up. But the next day, I got a call from him, and he said, "I'm so sorry that I didn't show up. I had to go back down south and handle some business, but I'll be back in a couple of weeks, and we will spend time then." And I said, "Okay." That never happened. Okay. Next thing you know, I find out that this guy is locked up, and in a couple of months, they gave him 13 years. And the reason why they gave him 13 years was he tried to unalive his ex-girlfriend before he had came to New York the first time, right? And I was blown away. And I did write him when he was in prison. I wrote him from the time we were 18 all the way till we were 26 years old. I wrote this guy. I forgave him. I thought that he had changed. And around 26 years old is when he asked me to do something illegal, which I'm not going to say on the video, of course not. And that broke me, and I ended our friendship, all communication with him. And that let me know that he did not change. Because for you to be in prison serving 13 years and then ask me to do something illegal for you, let me know that he was the same person. He was a criminal. He was a mastermind. He was a narcissist. And I haven't spoken to him since. So it was my shock when I was scrolling on the app BLK, Black, and I see him on the app. And I'm thinking to myself, I was like frozen in place when I saw this guy, because I was like, oh my gosh. I wonder if he saw my account first and clicked like on it, and that's how he ended up in the shuffle of options on the app. I pray he did not see me. Um, and what was also crazy was it said that he lived 2 miles away from me, and I'm like, he's living in New York. What? And I just thank God for like protection. And this is why, whether you're meeting people in person or through people online, you know, it doesn't matter how you're meeting people. You have to be spiritually protected. You have to be cautious. You have to use common sense if you got some. And you have to have spiritual discernment. You have to be able to pick up on things as well, right? Because we're hearing these stories of people, you know, who have been online dating, ended up being chopped up, abducted, trafficked, a whole bunch of crazy things are happening, right? But that really shocked me because you hear foreign stories, which you never hear, or, you know, you never experience things closer to you. Please be careful, you know. And I went onto his profile, and he was saying, oh, you know, it's crazy in these dating streets. And yeah, because there's a lot of psychopaths like you who are polluting you know, the dating pool, basically. I'm going to delete the app, and this is no shade to the app, but just be careful out there, because there are people like him and others who will harm women or will harm men, okay? But yeah, that's my story. Be careful and don't fall for it. If the universe is shuffling people from your past, don't fall for it. You know, a lot of times people have these love stories where they get back with somebody from their past, but a lot of times people do not change. They do not change. Do you know the level that it takes for people to change mentally and spiritually? And most people, most humans are lazy. They're not going to rehab themselves. They're not going to reconstruct themselves. Be careful. Don't fall for it. And I see this a lot in a lot of femicide cases where women try to like rehab these criminal minded men. You cannot save these men. They're doing exactly what they want to do.